for that emphasizing ending part of a sentence, we might as well give it a name and call it stress. And that position in the sentence, the emphasized information, the place where the emphasized information makes its appearance, is called the stress position. If you don't understand the pure word does not make sense, then try this game. It's very, very interesting. Here, try your hearing and try your senses. If you speak, you make movement. More often than not, movement comes very natural. Hand movement, shoulder movement, neck movement, head movement. People tap their fingers. Sometimes it's their toes, their feet and toes. It depends on the style or the physical makeup, biological tendency. Who knows? Especially when people are making emphasis, verbal emphasis, the movement will go with that emphasis, as if with a harder tapping of finger, or a thumping of a fist, or thumping of a foot. Try this game. When you are trying to make your point into words, feel it. See where you want your foot to be thumped, or your fist to be thumped, or your fingers to be tapped. This is where the emphasis is, or in our term, the stress position of a sentence is. And normally, it tends to come at the very end of the ending part of a sentence. The thing is, if you end a sentence with words, with weak words of little meaning, of course every word has meaning, but in here, with words carrying little meaning, it means the meaning related to the topic, the meaning related to the subject on hand. Then your sentence, generally speaking, is a weak sentence. If your sentence ends weakly, then the sentence is weak. Okay? Be very careful and keep that in mind. The stress position is always in the end. Take a look at this example and tell me if the emphasis is good or not, if the stress position is placed correctly or not. Where is the stress? Where should the stress go to? 1 minute. Tell me, does this sentence end strongly or weakly? 怎么样？觉得这句话结尾的时候是弱呢，还是强呢？是有力呢，还是无力呢？哎，我点名啊，那个谁，我点名。Okay, the answer is correct. Then, what is the reason that this sentence ends weakly? Try. Tap your fingers, or tap your hand on the table, on the desk, as you read a sentence. 读这个句子的时候，你可以把你的手放在桌子上，拿手指敲这个桌子。你觉得哪个地方你需要强调？那个地方肯定弹琴的话叫什么？肯定要是加强，要着重的，对吧？要猛地按下去的，对不对？你看一看这句话那个粗体结尾的地方 ，Take a look at the ending part of the sentence of this phrase, a bold-faced phrase. According to most atmospheric scientists, look, this is a prepositional phrase. It's a kind of what is it called? What is this type of phrase called? Remember? Introductory phrase. It's called introductory phrase, which normally comes in the beginning of the sentence, according to someone, according to some official report, and so on and so forth. Normally, such introductory phrases begins with a preposition, such as according to, such as in the last chapter, for example, at the very beginning of the story. So this sentence ends with an introductory phrase which carries less meaningful stuff. Call it stuff. The content, the topic of a sentence, let's call it stuff. Such a phrase, according to Bob, it carries very little stuff of the sentence per se. Then where is the emphasis laid? What content should be emphasized? Take a look at the main body, the main part of the sentence, that is the part before the comma. There are so many: global warming, for example, sea level, and low-lying coastal areas, and disappear, and so on and so forth. There are so many information points. As a writer ourselves, we may decide, we can take the liberty to place emphasis on whichever part we choose, and accordingly change the structure of the sentence. Change where the different words make their appearances. But most importantly, they have to arrange, their appearance must be arranged such that the emphasis always comes in the end. The stress position is always in the end. And we find that stress in the end. And. Take a look at the revision of the previous sentence. Read it 2 times. While you read it, tap your fingers on the table as you read the bold-typed words. 这个粗体字你们可以尝试一下，你念这句话在心里念或者在嘴上念都可以。念的时候，当遇到粗体结尾的时候，你着重把你的手指跟着一起摁在桌上，打拍子一样。你再体会一下，再感觉一下文字的感觉。Okay? The sense of writing, the sense of composing, the sense of dealing with words, it comes not only as a most abstract, most deepest process, mental process, but also it can be seen as if you can imagine yourself as a musician or a conductor trying to conduct words with your hands. 可以吗? Okay, let's move on. Take a picture of this example, 1A, and take a picture of the second one, 1B. Okay, 1A and 1B. I'll tell you the conclusion. Both these 2 paragraphs are well written, are well structured, are well written. They're both good. And they use the same set of words and concepts. You will see the issue of verification, of administration, submerge, problems, compliance. These subject nouns make appearances both in both these paragraphs. Okay? 2 paragraphs use the same set of words. But the order of the words in each different sentences, they differ. With the same set of words, although slightly different order of words in the sentences, do the 2 paragraphs share similar meaning, or they have rather very different meanings? Make comparison and contrast comparison and let me know if they're different or similar in terms of meaning, of course. 来看一下这2段话，我待会儿找人给我分析一下。这2段话采用的词汇大差不差，都是同一套词汇，用的词都差不太多，但是句子上的顺序，每个单词出现的位置不太一样，句子顺序不太一样，很可能会导致什么？很可能会导致着重点不太一样，想强调的信息点不太一样，也就是它的那个 topic 不太一样，对吧？来看一下 A 和 B， 请给我比较一下，这2者有什么相同，有什么不同，可以吗？我找个人说说啊，大差不差，就说一个主观感觉就行。Just tell me what you feel. You don't need to go into details. Of course, you can go into details and support your claim with statements, with your own reasoning. Of course, your reasoning is always welcome. But first, let me know your impression. What is your impression about these 2 paragraphs? Comparatively speaking, do they express the same meaning? Do they express the same intent, same attitude, same. Do they talk about the same subject matter? 找人说啊，找人啊，那个刚才说于谦说了对吧？那个再找人说啊。你觉得文笔感觉更好一些？给你一种什么就是 impression 呢？感觉是什么呢？而
不是什么什么。然后刚才那句话，他先说的是，我们不是这些，不要干这些，然后最后我们应该怎么弄？然后就感觉有点不太清楚他到底是啥。
就读着读着就one age 读着有点糊涂了是吧？你这有点那个记不住了 ，hold 不住了是吧？还有什么想法？别人还有什么想法？谁还有什么想法？我再找人说啊，再找人说，就相信自己的直觉啊，相信自己的直觉啊。那个谁啊，坤奇，你说啊？
我说实话，他这个音我没看明白。
我没太看懂。
但是我看那个 EB 我就明白大概。
那 EB 大概就看明白了，是吧？
对，我觉得他 EB 他把这个所有的他要说的这个，就是他要说明白的这个事儿，就能放在最后。就放在句子最后一段。比如说他前的这个 issue of 什么东西，他其实就是想说这个他这个人的确认要把这个事儿给他弄，所以他把这个事儿放在最后，所以你把前头一步你理清楚，你看到最后结束了。
跟那个谁差不太多，想法差不太多，都觉得看到 B 的时候终于看明白了，看清楚大概的什么意思，至少能猜个8、9不离10了，是吧？行啊 ，come back 啊。这个地方你看 1A, take a look at 1A. The bold-faced part for 1A and 1B, the bold-faced part are all at the end of sentences. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 3 sentences. 3 bold-faced places. 1, 2, 3. 3 bold-faces. And ending parts of sentences. Remember, in the very beginning I told you, 1A and 1B. A and B, there is not much comparison as to which one is better, which one is better constructed or better written. There is no such question. They are all acceptable writing. They're all good. We can only say one paragraph has a different emphasis, has a different subject topic from the other. This is the most we can say for these paragraphs. As for the first one, if you take a longer look, you will find the issue of verification, that part being stressed, that part being emphasized, the serious problem with Iranian compliance, and then compliance and questionable behavior, so on. So you'll get the feeling, the subject, the topic is laid on the Iranian part, the compliance part. We are talking, this sentence in here is talking about, basically, if we want to put it in one word or two, it's about Iranian behavior. What the Iranians should do, what are they up to, and so on and so forth. And if you look at 1B, blurred by this administration leaks, charges, innuendos, and in the end repudiate existing agreement. Worse still, terminate. Okay, the emphasis now is reversed, is laid upon the administration, which is the US government at that time, at the time when the paragraph is written. Okay? The 3 sentences put together, they give the impression that the US government is making a lot of mistakes. They blundered, they made mistakes, they should bear responsibilities, as you can see, blurred by the administration. Charges and leaks, these are all negative words. And the blame is laid upon the United States government. And of course, worse still. Take a look at worse still. This is my claim. This is my conclusion. They're both well written, but with different emphasis, with different stresses. A quick takeaway point. The first few words of a sentence is related to the topic, subject, matter of the paragraph, of the passage we have on hand. And then the last few words is the place for emphasis. Okay? In the previous example with 1A and 1B, we can see we can revise, we can revert positions so that different information, different parts of a sentence or different parts of a set of words is being emphasized. Basically, take a picture of this one. Basically, it's the advice I've given in the very beginning. Subject, topic, matter. Put the subject, topic, subject matter topic at the end, where the sentence ends. Some tactical revisions, some practical advices. Here are some ways. The first method is trim the end. Trim the end. What does trim mean? Trim. Cut. Right? Make thinner. Make smaller. Make thinner. Make sharper. Okay? Take a look at this example sentence. Sociobiologists claim that our genes control our social behavior in the way we act in situations we are in every day. A very long sentence, constituting about 20 words in vocab. And it involves complicated grammar, complicated grammar. Superficially, it meets quite a few standards, as we said, the standards for complicated sentences. Can you make some revision, trimming the ending part in bold, in the way we act in situations we are in every day? Read it again. Social behaviors control our social behaviors in the ways we act in situations we are in every day. Does this say much? Does this ending part say much? Not really. It's giving words after words as if trying to offer more content, offer more stuff, but not really much. They're only words put together, but concerning the meaning, we don't have substantial stuff on hand. In the ways we act in situations we are in every day. Repetitious, it's not repetitious. Most of these words, bold-faced words, are redundant. They do not provide extra meaning. So, what do? Very simple, very easy. We just delete that redundant part. The redundant part that do not offer more meaningful content. Okay? Trim the end. This is the first trick. And the second trick. Move the peripheral ideas to the left. Peripheral, what does peripheral mean? It means something on the edge, not in the center, hence not in a very important position. That's what peripheral means. Okay? Shift the unimportant ideas to the left, to the beginning, to the opening part of a sentence, so that the sentence ends with emphasis, ends with the part that should be emphasized. Meaningful, central ideas. How should we revise this sentence? What should we do? Easy, right? Very easy. Move the last 4 words to the very front of the sentence. That's it. For the most part, the data offered to prove ESP are weak. Similar unimportant peripheral ideas or phrases like "it must be remembered," this can also be arranged like before. Let it be moved, shifted to the very beginning of the sentence. Okay. And the third trick. Move new information to the right. It's, well, the third trick, the third method is just a repetition of previously known. So, the question is, what should we do? What should we do about this sentence that is given here? Apparently, the sentence opens with a very long head, very big head, very long subject. Questions about the ethics of withdrawing intravenous feeding. So how do we make the change? Very easy. Revert the position, right? Revert the position. More difficult are the questions about the blah, blah, blah. Let new information make appearance in the very end. Easy, simple. Right. Another 6 tricks, another 6 devices concerning grammar, syntactic devices to emphasize the right words. The right words and the right words. It's playing rhetorics. The right words, the proper words. Here means the right words, the proper words. Right, several syntactic or grammatical devices. First, there shift. Apply the there be structure that we have learned, that we have known since the time we began to learn English. There are tables and chairs in the classroom. This is the so-called there be structure. So you make the there shift in order for the part you want to emphasize to move to the right end of the sentence. There is a desk in the room. Desk in the room is the part of the sentence we want to stress. There be, make them the stress, make there be structure, make the stress take place at the end, at the right part of the sentence. Compare these 2 sentences. They share basically the same meaning, but the second one tends to show a bit more emphasis in its structure concerning the topic. There are several syntactic devices that, so on and so forth. Okay? But some of you might still remember some classes ago I told you to avoid using there be structure. Remember that? I said there be structure, it does not offer substantial content. We prefer substantial verbs or verbal phrases. We prefer something solid and material rather than there be structure. It offers not much except that it just adds grammatical, syntactical complexity. That's it. But in here, in order to make something happen, in order to make some grammatical, syntactical advantage to be taken advantage of, we still tend to employ such a structure, there be structure. Whether you apply this structure or not in your own writing, it depends totally on your agenda and your tendency, your inclination for your writing. Okay? Okay, let's take a 5 minutes break and then we'll come back with more examples and revisions and syntactic devices.